Hello everyone, I'm Emily Bolin and this is my community project. It is based off of COVID-19. You might be wondering, what is this community project? Well, it's just a combination of 3 assignments I had in my integrating instructional technology course. In the last 3 weeks, I communicated with a local educator about major problems in their classroom. I researched different technology tools to help solve the problem and developed a detailed lesson plan. Mrs. Williams is an elementary school teacher. She teaches 2nd grade. She teaches all the subjects that is required of her. She has 28 students, and the technology available in her classroom are Chromebooks, iPads, smartboard, and of course desktop computers. So her problem is the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. She wants to keep the atmosphere of just engaging with her students hands-on, and she believes it's important for their character and social skills. So Miss Williams has a mixed teaching style. Well, she gives lectures, but she also tries to make sure her students are getting out of their chairs so they don't sit down all day because they are in the same classroom almost the whole day. So the lesson I've created, it will include students reviewing what a data set is. They'll review graphs. They'll be introduced to stem and leaf plot. It'll be presented on the smartboard. They'll also use the Google Jamboard application. They'll go back over everything they learned, and then they will end the lesson with taking an assessment on the Edmodo application. So the technology tools I chose to solve the problem were Smartboard Lessons, Edmodo, and of course Google Jamboard. So for Smartboard Lessons keep students engaged because they can watch the teacher interact with the simulations, or students can personally approach the board and do it themselves. Here's a few examples. Over here, a student would grab a term and move it to the correct category, and then over here, the students would complete the stem and leaf plot. For Edmodo, it's just a social media platform for students to connect with their teachers and vice versa, and also parents can also interact with it too. It's just a very safe and appropriate platform for students. Here's some examples. They're kind of blurry, but over here is just from a teacher's perspective, and over here is from a student's perspective. They could view when their assignments were due, and etc. Google Jamboard. Google Jamboard, it's basically an application used to creating presentations, but in this instance, all the students would access a single one so they could view live editing. Here's a few examples. Over here, the students, they would use their iPads and they would complete problems that were asked by the teacher, and then all the students can look down at their individual iPads so they don't have to go and touch the actual whiteboard. So the activities I have in the lesson for each of these tools, the first one for Smartboard Lessons, they're just going to be looking at a presentation and also interacting with it. And then for Google Jamboard, it's serving as a whiteboard substitute essentially. For Edmodo, that's just where they will take their quiz at the end of the lesson. So for the Smartboard activity, the teacher will have the lesson previously downloaded onto a flash drive. Students will grab their essential just learning materials to take notes. They'll go up to the board. Of course, Ms. Williams will have the board sanitized between each use. And then for the Google Jamboard activity, Ms. Williams will have each of the students previously logged into the correct Google account so they can all access the Google Jamboard. She'll have them sanitize it, their own iPads, and then she'll ask for volunteers to create stem and leaf plots using the drawing tools on there. For the Edmodo activity, of course, they will just open it on their iPads, and they will also take the assessment, and then later on they can view their grade alongside their parents. So here's the assessment. It's an Edmodo quiz. It'll have 10 questions, multiple choice, fill in the blank, true and false. She's not using the quiz to, just to say she gave them a grade on something. She genuinely wants to know if they understood the lesson. So that is the purpose of her assessment. The curriculum alignment, here's the curriculum alignment. As you can see, it does follow different of the required standards, and it also follows the net standard right here. So the results of this lesson, Ms. Williams is able to maintain her exciting hands-on classroom atmosphere. Students are able to safely interact with each other within the regulations for COVID-19. Students learn how to use and interact with different technology tools. Students learn about data sets and types of graphs, especially the stem and leaf plot. That's all I have for you guys today, and thank you for listening to my community project.